Are you ready?
Apart from knowing where I was when actual war broke out, I was in Norfolk, and this nurse saying, we're going to have to stop in for duration, it'll not take long. It did take long. But however, coming back to a couple of quick stories at home in Darnell. One night, when they had a blitz, there were 2 bombs fell. One was a landmine, what they used to call parachute mines, and one was a time bomb. And the time bomb landed in a petrol station, British petrol station on Surrey Road, right? And the landmine landed only 50 yards away from our shelter on Colford Road, right? And they were unexploded, but all the people got evacuated to Darnell Boat School, which wasn't a school then, it was an ARP shelter on Main Road, down near Salvation Army. Yeah. And so we all got evacuated to there. Now then, like remember, only about 7 or 8 at the time. Old man Bridges, he got some navvies to dig down and the bomb disposal unit managed to stop that time bomb going up because it was right near petrol tanks. And when I went down, we went down, there were bottles, empty bottles, beer bottles, where he got beer down them, and it hit roof and deflected and went something like about 10 foot down it ground, and they worked all through night and dug it out. Now then, the landmine, which landed another 50 yards from our house, on another way, they had to detonate that. Well, this particular time, Shirley knows the story. I remember I went to the toilet outside, which you had to then, sat there, and suddenly an almighty whoom, and it lifted me off at sea. When they detonated that one. I wasn't very pleased about it. If I didn't want to go before, I did then. We also on Greenland Road, I'm talking about them, they had a balloon barrage and they had what they call a decontamination centre, where if they did use gas, or we went and you had to get in and get showered and all that. And if you go down Greenland Road now, there's all factories there now, but there used to be farm fields up back there and all that, But we got worse on it at our end on the Sunday, the 15th of December 1940. The first Blitz did more or less top end of Sheffield. And the story goes, that there were that much mist that night. He missed Hatfields and so when he got so far, he had to drop his bomb because a lot were incendiaries. And when we looked through ARP shelter door, they were it were all red, sky were all red, because we were all on fire. All around it. Middle of Sheffield burning, Marple's got bombed, Sam's got bombed. In fact, I think a big storm came out at Wicker Railway Arch, didn't it? Yeah. A bomb went through that.
Don't forget telling them what Hatfields were, that was a steel factory.
Oh well, Hatfields were all steelworks, down at running from Sheffield to Rotherham. And they used to make munitions of it. They used to make shells that had pierced one metal. Then they'd make a metal that shell won't pierce. So they were improving all the time. So it was after that. But the second time, that was on a Thursday, the second time, on Sunday, he got a few direct hits on some steelworks, that were producing at the time. But they soon got them back on. My father worked at Brown Bailey's, and he worked with Ashmore, Benson and Peace to get all roofing back up and, to get producing all the time. They worked all through night to repair damage that were done. This is what they had to do. And also my father, and probably his dad and all, they used to go to work at day or afternoon, whatever they were, and they had to do a fire watching shift for all businesses in Sheffield. I'd go and see if there were a fire alert so they could, get out at fire service and all that to put fires out. Especially up furniture shops and that up, because there were a lot of Jewish businesses in Sheffield at the time. And they used to go and wait for, see if there's any fire going to go off. That were on top of their own work.
Incendiary bombs.
Pardon?
Incendiary bombs.
Oh, incendiary bombs. Oh, they used to drop sticks and sticks and sticks of them, because it used to light all the place up. That's what lit Sheffield up that night. Yeah.
That's what made burnt buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like seeing all these fires?
Well, we were in shelter. We only went shelter to open up sky were red. That's all. When it was aftermath when you went round next day, you know. But as kids, our big joy was going around and collecting shrapnel with bombs and burst. But like I said, first blitz were more or less Sheffield End. The second blitz on Sunday, on 15th, that's when it started coming down. I think it was a clearer night so they could target, factories and that easier then. Yeah. So, but like I say, I don't know how Don felt. I felt more annoyed than out. I said, I wasn't frightened. I just thought, I'd be frightened now, in the same position. But then, it was like a big adventure type of thing. You didn't really comprehend, what was happening. And things were on ration, of course. That were a bind, because we went hungry. And they kept rationing on for quite a while after the war. That one after his big mistakes. But that's why we had to endure it, but we've come through it.
Could have been hungry.
There's probably several other things I could rake up, but I'll give somebody else a chance.
One of the things I wanted to ask was, what was it like hearing about the tragedy or the loss that Sheffield had? How did that impact on you?
Well, the funny thing is, schools used to shut down a bit. I don't know if you had it. You used to have home services where somebody let their house out, and teacher used to come in, so you got a few houses. But during Blitz, one of them houses we went to, it got bombed, and some of the schoolmates got killed. But as young as you felt, sorry for it, but you got on with life. It just didn't affect you like it would when you get older, because they weren't like really close relationships. They were schoolmates, but one or two got killed. And another funny thing is, do you remember somebody called Stan Boardman? He used to talk about the Germans bombed our chippy with Liverpool. The Germans bombed our chippy.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't bomb our chippy, but they killed the people that owned it. People called Armstrongs. I remember when we went down to that supper that time, their names were on that wall.
Yeah, they were.
Because banners down in Attercliff, they had a little memorial, old things. What you'll be interested in. In fact, they had a silhouette, didn't they, at Blitz? They're all fires burning. And all the names of people that got killed in Attercliff and Darnell were on that list. And our chip shop owner was on it.
And did you ever experience or see any of the homelessness that the Blitz caused?
No, because people took people in.
Yeah.
I can't recall anybody walking streets or not like that. They got took in.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
And so
In fact, they used to bill it. Some of the soldiers that came over from Dunkirk some were billeted in houses in our street. They brought them up, and my mum says, "Go and tell them we can take two, for attic and all that." But they already got names down, so soldiers were billeted. But I never personally. Don't forget, I was only 7 and 8 that time, so you weren't looking for homelessness. But I never recall any.
No.
They all got took in with relatives. You live like an extended family.
And so, after the Blitz, but before the war ended, what was it like to live in Sheffield at the time?
It was a bit difficult. You couldn't get, like kids, you couldn't get everything you wanted. Christmases were a bit sparse, There were no money knocking about. Father going to work, doing the shifts and all that, it still works. So as a kid growing up, all you wanted were something in your belly and, somewhere to go out and play. That's all.
Yeah.
You didn't, it's only after when you think about it that you realise what you went through without realising it. At the time it was just an annoyance.
That's when they used to start with allotments, isn't it, and gardens.
You used to what?
When digging with gardens, when they used to grow their own vegetables.
Oh yeah. Well, we had a long garden, and I've often told them the only way we had a chicken at Christmas was sent up from Norfolk. I can tell you about relatives there. But my dad decided to take his own. Well, that place in what I was telling you, that livestock market, Rag Market, they used to sell chickens there. And my dad bred his own from them. And what we had to do, when they got to fowls to laying, we had to get meal, we had to give up his egg ration. But we were better off because we got more eggs from fowls than what we could off ration. But we had to give us egg ration up to get the meal to feed the fowls. Right, carry on. Have more questions.
A few more if that's okay. So tell me, I know you've already told me this story off the record, but how did you feel when the news of the war broke out?
Oh, everybody were elated. Right. I can go on from there, yeah. Yeah, we were all, everybody was jumping for joy and that. But funnily enough,
When war broke out?
Eh?
When war broke out?
No, you remember when it finished, didn't you?
No, when it
Oh,
broke
sorry, when
out.
war broke out. Sorry, when war started. Sorry.
Oh, when war started, like I said, that big sister came in our ward and says, Britain's declared war on Germany. We'll have to stop here till it's over. And we just went, we didn't well, at that age you didn't comprehend what was actually happening. It's only things after when you heard about Neville Chamberlain with peace in our time business. You recollect them things, but it didn't get hold of you emotionally as a young age. Grown-ups were more fearful,
Did you get that sense of fear when you were at home from your family?
Well, yeah, because they were always on edge waiting for, because they used to have alarms, didn't they? A yellow, a purple and a red alarm. And that meant bombers were coming over and all that.
Sirens.
And so,
Sirens,
for
right.
me, here again, but for my mother and father and all that, it would get up to that shelter quick and get in and, I had a little bunk bed in my side by. I don't know what to do, we're going to sleep. That's all I can remember about it, really. My grandmother, funnily enough, she was deaf. You had to talk right into her ear. But when they come down, she could hear them. That pierced it, and bong! She said, "Oh, that's our house gone. That's our house gone." She always feared the house had been blown up when we went out, but all we got were windows blown out. In fact, I don't think one on Industry Road, I don't think one house bombed. Yeah.
Which street was it you lived on? Sorry.
Pardon?
Which street was it you lived on? Sorry.
Which
Street.
street?
Which
that
street?
was?
Industry Road. Industry Road. Down. But it was Colford Road where the landmine landed, and it was Surrey Road petrol station where the time bomb landed. And we escaped both.
What was it like when you heard a bomb drop?
Loud.
Scary.
But all you could wish for was to go away. At times, grown-ups were more scared than what kids were. I think, I wish they'd go. Where'd they gonna go, because it was about 3 hours, one session, if I remember right.
Oh,
Because one started at 7 o'clock, earlier one, and I think one was about 11 o'clock, wasn't it? 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so when you were out and about in Sheffield, what was it like to see if you did see any destruction, the devastation, what was it like to see that?
You just wow, look at that type of thing. Yeah. I can't explain emotions that they went. Look, what you did. You felt lucky. You want it. You felt You felt looking back now. You feel a sense of relief that it wasn't you that got it.
Did you ever think that they would come back and bomb again?
Well, they did.
Well, the two main blitzes, like I said, that were on 12th and 15th of December 1940. That were on a Thursday and a Sunday. But every time a siren went, you thought they were going to come and bomb. But like I said, there were yellow alerts. They used to sirens, that purple, some were coming over, and that red alert were...
There were two different sounds
with
with sirens. One was for get out of the way, get down here.
and all clear.
And then there were an all clear one.
Yeah.
So in two different sounds. And as kids you got to know what that
And you just felt really well, I can get
one
back
was
to bed
starting
now.
the bombing thing, one was finishing. Or in air raid as they call it.
Yeah, it's... I lost one or two schoolmates, but like I say, you just carried on. You got work to do. You got things to do. You couldn't... obviously, I mean, we lost an auntie or an uncle or something like that, but the parents grieve more for that. As a kid, it just don't get to you.
Don't register.
See, we're at wrong age to answer them questions properly.
Any experiences?
Yeah.
Great. To
No,
hear,
it
so, yeah.
what an experience. You
We,
just,
we were kids.
we thought it was a annoying big adventure at the time, you know. If we knew then what we know now, we'd have been more scared. I'll tell you.
It'd be our parents that were scared, because I mean, they've got families, young families.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you were going up to, can you describe the process of you hearing the alarm and to going to the shelter for us, please?
Kind of what?
Describe like the events that unfolded when the alarm sounded and going
Well,
into the shelter.
if I was bang asleep, my dad and my mother usually shout, "Get up!" and sirens going. We a lot had what they call siren suits then. You'd call them onesies now.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah? That's what they were.
yeah.
And and put one up and just grab. I might grab a toy gun. It with a toy. To take with me. I don't want to lose that. But my grandmother had a box with insurance policies in and some money, and we always used to go to the shelter. Soon as we went in, and she looked. I tell you, she was desperate. She heard them bombs when they were whistling. Didn't half scream.
And where was the nearest air raid shelter to where you lived?
We had a long garden.
Like garden.
Yeah, we had a long garden, and you dug so deep, and it was set into that. And my dad actually made a little well, so that it catch water. And eventually we got stoves in, so it could keep warm. little
Barbecue.
And what kind of activities did you do when you were in the shelter?
Just sit there and wait, and hope for the best. Yeah.
Listening to planes and...
Because there were no lights.
Some,
were
if
there?
you-
No lights.
If you,
couldn't have
oh
lights.
no, there were no lights.
No lights.
You could take a hurricane lamp up with you, but you got to be careful. Your door had to be shut out like that, but we never lit it. We just used to lay there for 2 or 3 hours and sit through it. It's hard to describe it. It was inconvenient as a youngster. It just... But like I said, it was being hungry that were one at
All the time.
one at main thing, but rations being on.
They used to have shelters at home and also at the end of streets, didn't
Well,
they?
but they were brick built with concrete tops.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you might want to know that.
And that's one of them our chippy owners got
They were
bombed in.
communal ones,
Yeah.
they were for each family.
Our community, what they
That's
call
if you were
community
caught
shelters.
out,
Yeah, I know.
you couldn't get home, you're up for a communal one and get in that.
Yeah.
They were-
And somebody might have a sing-song in there, tell jokes in dark light. And there was also an ARP warden who had a water ration, just in case you dehydrated a bit.
And what was it like seeing Sheffield so destroyed after the war? How long did Sheffield take to recover, really?